Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm Jeff Burr with the Tattooed Spirit. We're on to talk about that crazy cat that is working this balancing act between these two ways of being. This is the Two of Pentacles, and I really enjoy this card. And you're going to begin to enjoy this card more and more because it's going to give you the opportunity to begin trusting yourself with the readings. We're leaving behind that whole concept of just picking up a book, reading the definition of a card, and then just somehow trying to make that fit into your situation or the situation of the person that you're reading. This card is going to give you the opportunity to make a choice of what it means. And there's a lot of different imagery cues within this card that you don't even have to try to remember because they're just going to be there. It's a two, which generally means unions, but with this particular Two of Pentacles, we can also think of choices, and we can also think of balance, which is really easy to imagine whenever you just take a flash to just take this image in. There is a choice involved, perhaps. There is a balancing involved, perhaps. This card could mean, it could imply to you, it's just about enjoying the mundaneness of your way of being. A juggler is meant to have fun. A juggler is meant to instill joyful emotions in the person watching them. And a person who juggles just juggles for the enjoyment of it. This is your everyday activities amongst the high tides and the low tides. You get that from this roller coaster effect of the water down there. There's a big ship sometimes you'll tune into. There's a little ship sometimes you'll tune into. Whenever you see this card, it means that you're doing everything right. And I hope that you are enjoying this dancing act. And if it's on a low tide, if it's in a low season, if the Wheel of Fortune is presenting just okayness for you, that is all right, because the tide rises on a set schedule. The Wheel of Fortune always knows when the next influx of a new way of being, a new avenue of wealth, a new opportunity for security is going to come in for you. So why not enjoy that game, because it's the only game in town. Spiritually speaking, spiritual tarot, this is what our soul is experiencing through eternity. Thus, that is the infinity sign that you see this cat playing with. And there's two other cards in the major arcana. And I believe that they're the only two other cards that have that infinity sign in, so that whenever you see this card, and if you happen to see these two other cards, then you know that you have the ability to make the choice and be okay, because you are the co-creator of your experience. Ultimately, knowing what we know now about the suit of what cups means, and the suit of what the swords means, and the suit of the wands and what the wands means. And if you're dealing with choices or getting into a new way of being, you have the strength to follow it through. If you're trying to make a choice, remember that infinity sign. You'll be directed to that infinity sign. Through a meditation, you may just want to focus on this infinity sign, on this two of wonderful coins. And I hope that you remember that it all is pointing to your inner strength. To remember that you are a spiritual being. You are an eternal soul in a temporary life experience. And you should be enjoying this mundaneness of your everyday activity. And whenever you're doubting yourself, if this card happens to come in somewhere in the same spread or in the next card that comes up, remember that you truly can act as if you were the magician. I don't know where my fingers are. Am I blocking the infinity on this? My finger cramped up. Ah, there it is. Okay. So this guy here, this is you. There's going to be a reason why these cards come up in the same time and around the same positions, to remind you that you have the inner strength, to be remembered, because this is the beginning of the remember this card, this is the beginning of the second line of the major arcana. Whenever we arrange it to our very special grid, in order to get into the second line, you have to have this inner strength to begin to realize that you are a spirit in this world of coins, in this earth experience, this earth element of what coins represents. If it comes in reversed, this could mean that you're just not ready to make that move, that you're a little bit, you want to stay in that garden, all right? If it's an idea of a choice, maybe you're not ready to just jump out and make that leap to get out into that world of experience with this new way of experiencing and being. Maybe you're forgetting just how powerful you are, because it is you that ultimately chooses all three of the other elements that are going to change this position where you're finding yourself in. All right? So that is the wonderful two of coins. This is a particularly, I like that it's a general card, because I said at the very beginning, we're going to avoid the idea of coming up to a definition, what's it mean, and then you interpret it from there. Your eyes are going to sometimes just focus on the water. Just say, hey man, it's just a wave. And the next, up is coming. The next down is coming. And you are like the juggler, like the jester, supposed to be enjoying this mundaneness of this everyday experience that is life. I think it's a great card. I love it, and I hope you enjoy seeing it as much as I do. And remember the infinity sign. Remember your strength. Remember that you are a magician in your life when you understand this law of how things work with the other elements. Either way, it's inspiring you. It's teaching you that you have the power to change your situation. Or just keep on living it. Keep on living it. I promise I won't do that again. Okay, next card is the 3. I love self-mastery of any particular thing. I'm still working on so many of my own things. But this card is about mastery and how it's really cool to live and be where you are excelling and choosing to excel in a particular area in your life. We're going to talk about that next. Thank you for coming back for this wonderful coin suit. See you in just a second.